Hi, I'm Leandro Facchinetti, and let's talk about audio production. We are almost 20 minutes late to start because audio routing is a nightmare. In these Wednesday streams, I have to route things differently, and I always take like 45 minutes to connect all the freaking cables, and everything that could go wrong went wrong. What a nightmare! But here we are. It worked. I won't even get into the details. Last time I started the stream talking about all the 500 things I had to do to be able to stream, but let's not be this meta today. So, hi Arya, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I
I'm
am okay.
outside. I thought enjoy the sun. So hopefully my audio and stuff is okay.
Yeah, it's completely fine.
Cool.
Yeah, okay. So, I want to start by showing you what I did for my homework. So,
Mhm.
I first of all listened to all the takes,
Mhm.
and my wife and I agreed that the best take was the last one. I usually find that this is the case. Do you notice this too? It's usually the last take that is good.
Yeah, very often it's the last take, or if the last take isn't the best take, that means that you were overworked as a performer. Because some people also make you do like a take. They make you record something like 12 times, and really, like, your best performance is probably not after the sixth take. Like, it goes up, 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 and then at one point it starts to go back down as the performer gets tired. So yeah, I think five takes, one of them's gonna be good. Move on with your life.
Yeah, and yeah, I don't typically do half a dozen takes. I think we do
Mm-hmm.
four, which is like a reasonable number. So GSPT 4760. Hi, Murphy's Law never misses, right? Yeah, everything that could go wrong will go wrong. Yeah, I guess to summarize, always restart the computer when you are going to do something crazy with the audio. And restarting the computer, not only the computer that you see here on the stream, but also the computer that I used to stream. I had to restart both because in both cases, for whatever reason, black hole didn't work and everything just blew up. Arya, are you still there? I don't see your camera anymore.
Oh, I tried to hold on. Oh, am I back?
No, I don't see you. Oh, okay. I saw you for like a
Oh,
quick second and then I didn't. And now I
yeah.
see you again.
Sorry,
All
I
right.
tried to monitor the chat from my iPad, but it didn't work, so I'm just gonna monitor from my phone.
Okay.
Um,
And
yeah.
I can keep you on top of chat because this
Cool.
time I have it in front of me. All right.
Cool.
Okay. So uh, I heard all the takes and I thought that the last take was the best one. So I tempo mapped the last take using
Cool.
the two tutorials you mentioned last time, and you pasted the links on the chat. I did not actually get the links in the chat, so I asked you to send me again. And in fact, I should
Mm-hmm.
go and edit the description of the last stream. Uh, but we can also just press the wrong button. All right, here we are. Um, anyway, oh, all the technical difficulties today. So anyway, there are these two lovely tutorials, one by Arya and another one by Andre, and I'm going to paste your email into the chat right
Sure.
there. Oh, yeah, okay. Some formatting was weird, but I guess it's okay now. So I followed these two tutorials, and I think that what I did was kind of a blend of both tutorials. So I watched in order. I watched yours first and then Andrew's, and I found that I could learn from both. In your tutorial, I actually you drove the point home of why you would want to do this because you drew some
Mm-hmm.
MIDI on some drums that would go along with your performance on bass,
Mm-hmm.
and the performance on bass was not on a click track, so the tempo varied, and you tempo mapped and you drew some MIDI, and it was in time. So very nice to
Mm-hmm.
actually see that happening. But the keystrokes you showed to do the tempo mapping, I guess that's the part that you mentioned that maybe Andrea's way of doing it is better. And I really liked that SWS action. I forget the name, but I know the shortcut I assigned to it. So it's called move closest grid line to mouse cursor. And this action is super cool because it works until you release the shortcut. So it's kind of a keyboard modifier, which is a cool technique,
Yeah.
by the way. I know how to do this using Reaper scripts, but I have not done a lot of this myself. So
Oh, I would love to. Yeah, I would love for you to show me that sometime because I have ideas for shortcut until release stuff that I think will be really good.
yeah, in fact, what I know is just part of the story. I know how to write a script that will keep running. So usually our
Mm-hmm.
scripts, you fire them, they do whatever they do, and they are over. And I know how to write a script that will keep around, and then you can have a graphical user interface, or you can respond to whatever is happening. For instance, you can play something, and while the playhead is moving, you can react to that. So you could, in theory, have a Reaper script that reproduces the SWS marker action markers. I forget the name, and then I
Uh-huh.
don't even know where they are here. But you can do whatever. You can just keep your action running, and I know how to do that. What I don't know is how to see if the keyboard shortcut is still being pressed,
Don't know. I'm sorry.
and I don't know how to recognize that you have stopped pressing the key. So I don't even know if that's possible from a Reaper script, because this action is not a Reaper script. It is from
Yeah.
SWS, so it is written in C. I am
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think that you would be able to do that, but I don't know. In any case, so I bound this action to a keyboard shortcut, and now what I can do is I guess I can do this later over here in the project so I don't mess things up. So I am explaining all this because, first of all, you may want to suggest better ways of doing this, but also because for people who did not watch the tutorials, um, I kind of made a blend of both techniques. So
Cool.
in any case, so what you can do is you put your cursor near a marker. So before we were not recording to a grid, so the grid lines were disabled, but I enabled the grid lines, and then whatever my cursor is, when I press that key that I bound to that action, it is going to carry the closest grid line along with my cursor so I can move it around.
Mm-hmm.
So that's part of the story. Another part of the story is that I had to come here to my item and properties, and I had to change this. The time base was, I think, it was that one. So it was following
Right.
along with the time changes. So if I change the time, it would stretch the audio to follow. So what I did is
Mm-hmm.
I came here and changed this to time. So now it unhinges the item from the timeline, or from the grid, not from the timeline, from the grid.
Yeah.
And then I can come here anywhere and I can just grab one of these points in time and move it. And you can see that the
Mm-hmm.
audio doesn't stretch, the audio stays in place. And then I can move this around, and I can move that one, and I can move this one, and so on. Let me undo what I just did. And then I listen the thing in chunks, and I would find mostly
Uh-huh.
the first beat, and I would move the grid line to be on top of the transient, to be on top of the beginning of the beat. And that is something that I don't think anyone explains, but maybe it is something that people just take for granted, but I'm not really sure where the marker should be. Do you think it should be like on the so for instance, this is me strumming the guitar, so you can hear it. So it's like the first strum.
Uh-huh.
So do you think that the marker should be right here where the pick started getting in contact with the strings, or do you think that it should be more like over here where you first hear the sound because it becomes louder? or does it not make a
I
difference?
see what you mean. Play a little bit longer of the song, maybe until like measure 2.
Okay, and I will also make some noise that you will be able to hear, so I can hear you all better. Anyway, so
Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that seems right to me. Where I would put it, I guess, like if in this case, which where the tempo is really high and you're not really like strumming, what they call like a broken chord where you go dring. You're not really doing that. You're playing a chord, and yeah, there's like a little bit of time delay between where your pick hits the string until you have a full chord. I would just put that at the beginning where you hit, because the intention is not to have like a rolling chord. But if it was like a rolling chord, kind of like at the beginning of Take My Breath Away, then I would put that where the chord is fully expressed. Because usually people go 1, 2, 3, 4, strum, and on the next one is when the pick is released from all the strings, has already played all the strings, if that makes
I
sense.
see. So you mean to put the marker around here,
Yeah.
and that's more or less what I did, but not always. So I went back and forth. For instance, in this one, you can see that the marker is more on top of where I thought the sound was louder. And by the way, I think
Uh-huh.
it's interesting to show for people who like me are new to this. I've and also I want to run this by you because maybe I have a wrong understanding. But the way I understand, I can come here to view and show the master track and the tempo envelope. So
Mm-hmm.
usually, if you were playing to a click track, you would come here to BPM and you would say, I want to play at 130 BPM. And then you hear the click track and you play along. So what we are doing is the opposite. We have a performance and we are going to change the BPM as we go along. And that's what this is showing. So this is the BPM over time. And over here, before we start, the BPM is whatever it is. I guess it's this 86.025, and then
Yeah.
when I move my cursor, you can see that that number below changes. So we are changing
Mm-hmm.
we are changing the BPM of the project. And then there are these markers here that show you the exact number that is the BPM. So even if I don't have the master track visible, you can still see where I pressed my keyboard shortcut and I moved the grid line, because it becomes one of these
Mm-hmm.
markers. And in some places, not in most places, but in some places I did more than just the first beat. For instance,
Yeah.
um, over
I
here,
see one right there.
yeah,
Yeah.
for instance,
Uh-huh.
over here I mapped each beat on the measure.
Yeah.
And that's because I did it with just this guy and I thought it was off. So I went back and I tweaked things here and there. And the way I see it, it becomes very strange when you do that. And in most places, the changes make sense. Like, yeah, I'm changing from 192 from 1 to 191. It's a very small difference.
Mm-hmm.
But in some cases, it changes a lot. So, do you think I made a mistake in tempo mapping, or is this shape reasonable?
Well, let's listen to maybe one of those. Yeah, let's listen from like that where you are right now to one measure after where it's like there's a sudden jump of 12 BPM, and let's see what we hear.
Okay, I will give you a bit more of that. By the way, since we are
Sure.
talking about this, do you know a way I am moving around, now that we have a grid, I am moving around with these actions to move the cursor left and right to grid division. But then I hear kind of
Uh-huh.
the tape going back and forward.
Yeah.
Uh, do you know a way of not having that?
Yeah, go to your preferences, and look for scrub. Just search for scrub because I don't remember which window it's on. Yeah, scrub jug audio when moving edit cursor via action or control surface. Untick that and apply.
That's
I
better.
think that's the fella. Yeah.
Why would you prefer to have this artifact? It sounds like noise to me.
I use it if I'm doing, and I just actually made a script for that. For when I'm dialogue editing, when I move the edit cursor, I get to hear that scrub and I can move it really slowly. And I made an action to use my mouse wheel to do the scrubbing. And so I go slowly over things and I can hear clicks. Clicks, no matter how much you slow audio down, they will have a sound because it's like a jump on your playhead. So it goes, and I kind of find it like that. Yeah, so for stuff like that, maybe it's useful. I don't know. Maybe also just nostalgia. Like it sounds like rewinding on old tapes for some people. I don't know.
Well, I don't think it makes sense for this kind of editing that we are doing now, so I'm happy to have that
Yeah,
disabled. All right.
yeah.
Okay, so let's play from here. And when I play this, does this sound loud enough for you all?
Um, it's fine for me.
Okay, so if it's fine for you, it's fine for the stream. You're getting the same audio feed. Do you hear the click
Okay.
very well? I find that sometimes the click is too quiet.
Yeah, you can turn up the click if you want, by right-clicking on the on the metronome thing. And yeah, primary beat volume, secondary beat volume. I usually have them a lot louder.
Interesting. It seems like the primary beat is quieter than the secondary beat.
That is interesting. Yeah. I don't know if those are the defaults.
I mean, on the one
Maybe at
hand, they
one
are
point you
not
change
because
them.
the default will be here on this
Oh,
little
there you go.
line, but on the other hand, I did not touch this.
Huh.
So
Weird.
there you go. Mystery. So do you go like this? Or I think the
No,
secondary.
I just keep them at 0. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I always say if you don't hear the click at 0, then it's the headphone or it's whatever you're listening through, maybe the issue.
Okay. But now it is at 0. So both the primary and
Cool.
secondary, because I suppose that I did not change any of these settings. So I suppose that Reaper will play different sounds. Yeah, it plays different
Yeah.
sounds. Yes, here it is. Okay. So I want to hear this again.
Sure.
I don't know, it sounds correct to me.
Sounds correct to me too.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess it's like and 12 BPM, right? In the area where you are between like 180 to 190, it's really insignificant because tempo also works. It's kind of like dB, right? So the difference in 10 dB from 0 dB to -10 is huge, but from -40 to -50 is quite insignificant. And tempo kind of works the same way, where the faster you get, like a 10 BPM fluctuation becomes really insignificant when you're talking in the range of like 180 to 220. But if you were like, if your song was at 110 and suddenly one section was 120, then I'd be like, whoa, maybe you played that not so well, or maybe you made a mistake. But yeah, this seemed totally correct to me.
So I guess it's time for you to grade my homework, and let's hear to the whole thing, and
Sure.
we can see if something stands out. Maybe you want to, and we can fix it. And how do you?
Sure, I'll try to make like mental notes, and then yeah, let the song play through.
Okay. And I was thinking about something else, but I forget. So let's hear the song. Here it is.
Cool. Yeah, lovely, awesome. And I think it seems super kind of in time the whole way through. And the recording quality. Well, what do you think about the recording quality? Do you like it?
Uh, it's really hard to tell. I usually hear like fully produced songs, and this doesn't sound like that.
Uh-huh.
But then sometimes I watch people working on songs, like I watched you on your stream last week, and when you just hear the bits and pieces, it never sounds too good. So I don't have a. I'm not calibrated to really say if I like this a lot or if I don't, but it seems like you don't like it. So what don't you like about it?
No, I do like it. I do think it needs a double, um, because I think it's a little bit. That's one of the things with, I guess, acoustic guitars is, and they're one of the harder things to record in my experience. Overall, like acoustic guitars, like saxophones, stuff like that, to me are much harder than drums. With drums, if you have like 8 microphones, you can get a really good recording. Um, with acoustic guitars, with one mic, it's hard to make everything that you need to come out. So I think we got rid of the like woofy kind of low end that comes out of the sound hole, and now I think it's slightly like a little bit thin.
Mm-hmm.
So I, one way of tackling that is to double it. So do another, or you can take one of your older takes, but it'll probably not match up with the tempo. But now that you have a click, if you record a double on top of it, it would sound a lot like kind of wider first of all, but also like it'll kind of fill itself in some areas. And then for the double, you can also use a different approach, like either a different mic or just the same mic, kind of a slightly different placement. Um, could be could bring some like new characteristics to this. Um, Otherwise, yeah, like I don't not like it. I think it's good. And then obviously dynamic range is something that we need to address, which we will with a good old compressor. Um, and then we can kind of try and see like what we can kind of bring out of it with EQ as well. Um,
Okay. But
yeah,
what do we do first? Do we first try to work with compression and EQ, or do we try to record a second, an overdub?
that's a good question. Why don't I? Yeah, why don't we do a double as your homework? Um, and try to see what we can learn or what we can like add to it with compressors and EQs.
Um, okay, so you don't want to record the double now.
Unless you want to.
Well, one thing I'm not sure about is I I played the thing and I played it 4 times and I don't think I played 2 times the same way in terms of
Mm-hmm.
uh, everything from timing to everything else. So I have tempo mapped the thing, so I will be able to hear the click. But I think I never tried this before, so I don't know how it goes. But I think it's very hard to reproduce what I did. And do you think I should do exactly the same, or
Um, yeah, if you think it's quite hard, well, then there are two things we can do. One is like your second line, like it's not like a full double, it's not a faithful reproduction. We just find like some chords to kind of like, maybe as you're doing, that's another thing that could sound really nice, is that with your take, you're doing like fast strumming, and then we can have another take where you're doing like ring, ring, so playing the same chords but letting them like ring out the whole measure. That could be one approach. Another approach is we can make a fake double, because we can copy your sound, we can create slight variations in its play rate, frequency content, and volume, and create a faux double, which Like there are plugins that do that. They just spit it out, or we can kind of build it from the ground up, um, by doing all those things ourselves.
I mean, initially I am inclined to try to really record the thing. The more we do with actual sound, the better, instead of using post processing and plugins. I'm not sure that I can do it though, and I want to know how hard it actually is. I think it's going to be
Mm-hmm.
freaking hard. I mean, maybe if I had thought ahead and uh, I would have played it differently. I would have thought more about everything I was doing as I was doing it, and then I would be able to reproduce it. But right now, I think I would have to listen to the performance a couple times and memorize what's
Mm-hmm.
going on. And also, do you think that it would be okay for us to record parts and stitch the performance together, or do you think that we should do it in one take? This doubling thing, it should be done in one take, like the first
Uh,
take was.
no, you can always stitch things together. No shame in that. I definitely do a lot of stitching when I record my own music. Um, and if you think like playing an exact double is hard, we can also try that, like kind of just like it, letting chords ring out. Just on the ones you're playing chords, you're letting them kind of ring out, letting them have like a little sustain as well, and that'll kind of fill up and kind of fatten your sound.
Okay, so I think let's set up for recording another guitar,
Sure,
and then we can. I want to give it just one try to see how hard this actually is. I think
sure,
it will be hard, and then I will fail, and then we'll go with the open chords.
sure. Yeah, at this tempo, it could be somewhat difficult. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I
And I
have.
guess this is the trade-off, right? Like if you recorded from the beginning to a click, then doing doubles would be easier, but at the same time, then doing that single good take would be harder. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So either the main is difficult or the double is more difficult.
yeah, and also you said that it's hard. I want to get deeper into something you said before. It is hard to do everything you want to do with a single microphone, and do you think that we should, and we can still do that, do you think that we should use multiple microphones? Because we have at least three microphones total. Actually, we can run four microphones if you want. We can run the XY that comes
Mm-hmm.
with the Zoom, this little guy that I'm using to talk to you
Mm-hmm.
all right now. So you can use the XY, and we still have two SM58s available.
Mm-hmm. Um, so because when we did, like when we recorded with the SM58 and then your shotgun, we kind of decided like the shotgun was the better sounding of the two. But there was something we liked about the SM58 as well.
The compression, well,
But I
the
guess
fact that the dynamic range.
the dynamic range was better. So another thing we can do, because, again, I think like you, when you do a double, um, it could be really kind of effective if you use the same mic, same setup, same placement, all of that. Or it could be really kind of characteristic and cool sounding if it's like a different style of recording. So one thing I'm thinking of is like, what if we, for the kind of chords that will ring out, we'll go for the XY technique, and we put it kind of slightly above you, and we let that kind of ring out and fill in and be wide and spacious, and then you have your current recording be very upfront and like high definition, and it has a lot of like transients and all that stuff that are coming in like real clear, and the contrast between them creates like a nice sound, hopefully. You want to try that?
Yes, and also GSPT 4760 says the tape sound is a good one to sample. It is also good if you want to mimic a DJ. Yeah, so that could be cool because I
Mm-hmm.
said before that I am recording acoustic guitar and everything, but I'm all up for making weird things with it. So slowing it down with a tape, that could be kind of fun. And you mentioned
Yeah,
how when I say sound check on the lyrics, we could do something glitchy. That could be fun too.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like this
Yeah, with
mixture
the
of
scrub thing.
organic and well, the acoustic guitar and singing will be organic, but I like that mixture of organic and electronic. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm going to set up to record again.
Okay. I'm gonna just fill up my coffee and be right back.
Okay. Here we are. Gotta make myself a bit brighter. Oh, the brightness window is opening behind. Okay, that's better. All right.
I did take note of two measures where
Arya,
I
I
thought the
don't hear you,
oh
which is funny
um
because I think that the stream can hear you, but I cannot. That's odd.
oh hello Bobs NY.
Uh,
I'm just gonna hum until you hear me. Boop bap
why
beep
could that
boop boop
be?
boop boop bada bada beep up boop doop
Oh, that's so
zitty bitty
weird.
tap boop boop doop
I
boop
can
boop boop
see the
boop boop.
Skype thing coming in. Oh, and also I'm clipping. I can see the Skype thing coming in. I see you right here. And yet, I don't hear you.
Bada
And I know
boom.
that you can hear me. I see the meters. Do I
Yeah,
hear
does the
anything
chat
unplayed?
hear me?
Yes. So if I make you visible, I should see the meters
It
here.
was
So
just working.
this is
Hello, hello.
showing something. So OBS can hear you. And then the monitoring device is this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I mean, it
come
was
on.
just working.
Well, I guess I can always change the monitoring device to something else. Let's go to
Bob's hears both.
built-in output.
Yeah,
Let's do built-in output.
check,
And then
check,
come back.
check, 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 check.
There you go.
Check, check.
That worked.
Check, check. Alright. Okay.
For no
Cool.
good reason. We didn't do anything. See how this is
Yeah.
messed up?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Hey, Bobs NY. And all right. Okay. Guitar on hand. And how do you want to start this? Do you want to go for trying to reproduce the performance and fail, and then we can all have a good laugh, and then we try something else?
Sure, yeah, let's give that a go.
Oh no, again? I lost you mid-sentence.
What happened?
I hear you again. I don't
Oh
know.
no, I just stopped mid-sentence, I guess.
Okay. Now I'm afraid of touching the cables, but it's not. It was a software problem.
Yeah.
Okay,
Weird.
so same setup as before. Oh, I don't think that the camera gets this actually, but I have the acoustic guitar on my lap. The microphone, I'm using the shotgun microphone that you can buy as a replacement for this default microphone that comes with the Zoom H5. It's pointing at roughly the 12th fret or the 14th fret,
Mm-hmm.
and it's about like 10 centimeters away from the guitar, which I guess is a similar thing to what we did before, right?
Yeah.
And then we can.
Also, by the way, one suggestion that would make it slightly easier is that because right now your tempo is totally like irrelevant, and then when it comes in at 188, it's it will suddenly be very relevant. You know what I mean? So you don't have a count in to yourself. And if you change the tempo of the measure -1, you're gonna move everything out of place. But what you can do is create a new track and you just make a little bit of leeway, like whatever the tempo in measure 1 is, you just insert a click source there, and then you glue that audio and you bring it back 1 measure just to give yourself a count in, if you think that will make your life a little easier.
I think it will. So let's do this. So what you're saying is I am going to create an item here,
Uh-huh. And
and
then go to insert. You don't need to create an item, yeah. And go click source.
looking for a click source.
Oh, you passed it.
Yes.
And now glue this item that was just created.
Oh, so if I move it
No, you can't
around.
move it. Yeah.
Oh, that's
But
crazy.
if
I
you
didn't know
glue
about
it,
this. So there is this other kind of item. There are audio items, there
yeah,
are MIDI items, there are video items, and there are click items. There are even note items, but there are click items. I didn't know about
yeah,
this. And it follows the tempo. That is crazy. All
yeah,
right. So I can always glue this and then I move it around and it becomes audio
yeah.
and it's stretched.
But it's also, but also set the time base for this to time. And actually, what you should do is on your project settings, just set your time base to time, because we're not doing anything MIDI on this project. So this project can stay fully, um,
Like
yeah.
this, right? So I went to project
Mm-hmm.
settings and I changed the time base for items to time. But I guess I still have to change this one
Mm-hmm.
because I created it. Oh no, this is going to be just the track defaults. So I can change this one
Yeah.
as well, just for good measure. So I can move it around and now I have a bit of time. I have,
Yeah.
well, I have 2 bars
Yeah.
for a count in, but this is not making me happy. It's not moving to the right
Take
place.
off, go to snap, or another thing that you can do to make it exact is put it back where it was, and then loop the source of the item, which you can do from media properties.
It's already
Oh, it's
looping.
already looped. So now instead of moving it, you trim it back. Like go to the edge, bottom edge, yeah, and then bring it back, and that will be exact.
Great trick. So
Mm-hmm.
let me see. I'll follow along with the chat. Um, use the Marshall stacks. I don't know what that is about.
Yeah, we have Marshall stacks.
Turn up a bit Arya, just a bit. Okay. I
Oh,
on the meters I hear Arya a lot louder than me because my microphone is placed in the wrong placement for me speaking. So if you still think that Arya is too quiet, then let me know. But I think it should be okay. Looking at the meters, it should be okay. What we do sometimes
check,
is
check.
just
Hello,
yeah. What we do sometimes is just run a simple keyboard drum thing or a drum part to create a click. Ah, okay, yeah, it is more comfy for some folks like myself. Resolution to 32 notes. You mean the grid resolution?
I think so. Yeah, just to get like when you were trying to move it, you didn't have
Ah,
enough kind of definition. But if you want to be exact, yeah, the best way is to like keep the source where it is and loop it back,
yeah,
and then you can cut it if you need to.
yeah. That was a good trick. All right, so let's create another track. So, oh, by the way, I can talk about this Reaper script I created. It is mostly a custom action. It's just a bunch of actions being called on a row, and it is a super simple thing. But I don't think it exists anywhere else. Not that I know of, anyway. So remember how I said I had an issue when I was recording the other song, which I showed on the last stream, and I had recording setup. So I had the track enabled for recording, and I had a particular source coming in, and then I created a new track, and the new track had a different source coming in, so I recorded using the wrong microphone. I created this action that, so if I have here, for instance, let's say input 3, and I create a new track, then my new track will have input 1 again as the input. But I created this thing that duplicates the track, but without the items. By default, you can duplicate a track
Oh.
and the items will come along. But I created this thing that duplicates the track, so it copies whatever is your input, and if the track is soloed, it will copy that property. It will copy all the properties of the track, but it will not copy the items. So when you are doing a bunch
Mm-hmm.
of takes, like when I was doing the other song, I was recording a bunch of takes with harmonies, and it is a lot easier to use my action to create these tracks as you are going. And you say, oh, I want one more note, bam, 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 create the tracks, and they are ready to go. So if you have something like not click here or press a keyboard shortcut, but instead you come here and you enable automatic record arm when selecting a track, and you have a bunch of tracks, you can just quickly select the tracks that you want to record on. And of course, this property will carry through as well. So
Mm-hmm.
you don't even
Yeah, I
have to.
also have a custom action for that. Yeah, it makes it so much easier.
Yep. Um, Now, if you want to have that custom action, if you want to share that custom action more easily with other people, then you can use my script because it comes with
Cool.
repack. I mean, if you install my repack repository, it comes along. All right, okay, so anyway, I will create a new track using input 1, which is this little guy, and then you will hear me doubled, so why don't I come here to this other Reaper instance and mute this, so now you won't hear it from this instance.
Yeah, you can also turn monitoring off on this track that you have. Same thing.
Well,
Now we don't hear you.
yeah, if I turn off monitoring, you
Uh-huh.
won't hear me. So I guess I can leave this on, and then you hear me doubled, and then I turn off monitoring here, and then you still hear me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Same deal, really.
right.
In terms of end user experience.
All right. And I still hear myself. I have been hearing myself for the whole stream, but that's okay. I think it's even a good thing, actually. All right. I don't have any tuner here, so. Oh, if I don't monitor the track, then my tuner will not work.
Mm. What I do is I have a custom recording track and it's tied to a hotkey, and then in the input effects of that, I also have a tuner, which you can set up later if that seems fun to you. And on my custom recording track, I have a different track layout, which is just a huge meter. Um,
Mm.
so it's a fun.
Yeah, I still have here the recording monitoring is off because I have this other Reaper instance dedicated to the stream. I'm going to minimize it so I don't mess it up. And then I have the tuner as an input monitor. And of course, when I double the track, if I do that using my nifty little action, then the tuner will come along too. All right. Uh, Sounding good. And I need to open my tab, my chords. And
Slack does suck. It's weird.
oh, so you were there for my stream on Monday, and it
Yeah.
was basically old grumpy person yelling at clouds. But it's okay. I am fixing Slack, at least the part of Slack that I hate the most. But I literally have a list. I made a list of all the things I hate about Slack and all the things I hate about Zoom and all the things I hate about Uber. I think that the world would be a better place if these three companies just ceased to exist.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I really, really dislike these companies. I made my wife hear all my reasons. I we were walking and I had my phone out and I was listing all the things I dislike about Slack, and she was like, "Whatever. I have never heard of Slack. I don't care." uh, Poor Linda. Okay. Oh, so here were my notes. I did not try to sit on the floor, but I think that's out of question now. And I selected a
Cool.
take and a tempo map. So there you go. I am a good student.
Awesome.
Another thing I was another tangent, but it's fun. So remember how we were talking about yesterday on your stream when we were talking about different versions of the effect? I mentioned that you could use Git for that. The fun
Mm-hmm.
thing is, a Reaper project, the RPP file, is a text file. Unlike most
Mm-hmm.
other digital audio workstations that have binary formats, Reaper stores things in plain text, which is useful if you are writing Reaper scripts. Sometimes you have to get down to that level and write text. But also it's fun because you can version your Reaper projects using Git.
Mm.
And then you don't have to keep copies of the project, which is something that Reaper does very easily. So you can just keep the undo history. I don't know where that is, but I know there is something that like every time you
Yeah,
save,
it's
it
in
saves a new
project.
copy. But
Yeah.
you don't need that if you don't want. You can use Git for that.
Mm.
Yep. All right. So what else do I need to do? Is there really no way for me to change the tempo of this part without affecting everything else I did? That sounds silly.
Let's see.
Because the problem is, if I show my master track and I move this around, it messes up the whole work I did. I don't.
That's right.
I'm not even able to do this for whatever reason. Oh, I guess that's because
Uh,
that's the tempo of the whole project, so I have to come like here, and that messes up my work.
yeah, you gotta create like a tempo marker, and then it'll give you a handle to move it around. Um, yeah, there's not an easy way to do it unless like you create a region. So another thing that you can do, because right now there's another issue. The other issue is that you have your metronome enabled, and at the beginning we also printed a click. So
Ah,
you will also hear, yeah, you will also
yeah.
hear that click.
So it sounds
So
like
what you
this.
can do, yeah,
That would
polyrhythm
be hard.
time. Yeah. So there's two things you can do to tackle that. One is to make a time selection for the rest of your song, insert another click source, and then turn off your metronome, and you'll just hear from the click source. Or you can make a smart marker to turn on your metronome as you get to measure one, and before that you won't have metronome. So pick which one you think is easier. I think, yeah, just inserting a click source and turning off metronome is probably easier.
Yes, that's what we are gonna do now. So I just select the whole thing and come to insert click source. So I need to
Yeah.
remove some of the overlap.
Yeah, and go all the way. Did you go all the way to the end of your song?
I actually went past the end.
Oh, okay, cool, cool, cool. Because your webcam was in front of it, so I wasn't seeing.
Oh yeah, 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 fair. Um, so I guess I can remove this part.
Yeah,
So this is the part that was glued, and this is the part, and then I can put everything in one track,
sure.
and I can even remove this bit, and then it looks nice.
Yeah.
This is my metronome, and
Mm-hmm.
I can even glue this.
If you want, yeah.
Yeah, because the click source is going to be heard even if the metronome is off. But how do I
Yeah,
control the
once it's an
loudness of the
item.
click?
You can still use the track volume if you want to control the loudness of the click, but it will follow the settings from your metronome settings anyway. So
Oh,
if you also change it from there, even with your metronome turned off, it will still
okay,
abide by those.
okay, cool stuff. Those are nice tricks.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's hear how this is gonna go. It's weird to have three measures before they start.
I guess, yeah, two or, yeah. Now you'll have 7 clicks.
I will have 8, right?
Oh, you had 8? Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Here's
yeah,
the
it's a
first.
little bit of it is. Uh-huh. Cool, cool, cool.
Um, yeah, the counting is good. You are all getting into triplets. Yes, we had polyrhythm for accounting. Isn't that cool? Okay, so
Hmm.
I am going to make this. There is no chance that I will be able to do this right, so whatever. I'll just give it a try. So yeah, I'll double this, and I will not record on the first track. Oh, I already had enough tracks. What am I doing? Whatever, just delete this one, and everything looks good here. That is so hard.
As soon as we got to that 197 bit, but up to that point, I was like, great, this is working out.
Yeah, but it's so hard. I can click on this and it will not complain, right? Every time that I save, that I create
Yeah,
a take.
yeah. Save this one though, and we can also at least do a compare. So, for example, what I'm seeing is maybe you can turn up your preamp a little bit, and also we can just kind of listen to the doubled bit, the bit that you did successfully double, and we can decide if you like that sound.
Okay.
Because if you like that sound, then we'll try to get it.
Yes. And we can. Let's not kick you all. So we can see if we like it, and if I think that it's just too difficult, I can try to do it as a homework. I mean, it will not be fun. It will just me spending some time in front of the computer and trying to get the take. All right, so we have something here. Do you want to hear it first, or do you want to give it another try?
Sure, let's hear just like, yeah, a few measures of it. And maybe you can just pan them like left and right. You can do like 50% or just do hard.
Okay, so let's take this. I usually pan like this much. I mean, I usually.
Sure, yeah, try 50.
I'm not. No, what I mean is usually I'm not super precise. I just turn the knobs.
Ah, okay, yeah. I have like key actions that do it like 10% at a time because that knob is a little slow for me sometimes. And another thing to do is just kind of by eye, turn up your item volume for the second take that you did. So it's more or less like as loud as the other one. I would say like a 3 dB increase or something.
Looks
Yeah,
about the
something like
same.
that. Yeah,
Okay.
looks good enough for government work.
Let's mute this. I don't have a lot to hear here because I made a mistake right about here, I think. So
Yeah,
I can play these on a loop, and I can mute the double, and we can hear the difference. Also, another thing we did
right.
not do was to try to match the phase, but because these are two performances and not a single performance mic'd twice, that's not something you would worry about, right?
Yeah, exactly. And we want those differences. When we double, we want those differences to be there.
All right. It's kind of hard to tell because I have panned this, so I only hear it
Uh-huh.
on one side. So I guess what I can do is to
So,
duplicate the
yeah,
track.
duplicate it and volume match as well, and that'll be scientific as heck.
Ah, that's a good point. So let me bind a keyboard shortcut for this.
Get out of here. I do Command Option D.
Uh, that makes
Or whatever,
sense.
yeah, Command Option Shift.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna go with Command Option Shift. So this is not going to be panned, and these two will be panned. And to match the volume, do I do it like by ear, or is there something that I can do scientifically
Um,
here?
I mean, you can use your meters if you want to kind of hit roughly the same level, or you can use your ears, whichever one you want.
Okay, so let's give this a try. Press the wrong button. Yeah, they're both hitting about -6, so I think that in
Cool.
terms of volume they are similar, but in terms of sound, now I'll pay attention to the sound. Oh, it's like night and day.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much better doubly. What do you think?
Yeah, it just gives it like a lot more like fullness and like movement. Whereas the like single take is very kind of like dry by comparison, basically.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll do the thing that you like. Single take, and these are the doubled,
Mm-hmm.
and that's. Can I plug my own actions, my own Reaper scripts?
Sure.
I just used one of them. I really like how in other digital audio workstations like Ableton, you can select a bunch of tracks and you can create a group. And Reaper has this other way of reasoning about tracks. You have parent tracks instead of track groups or track folders.
Mm-hmm.
So I made an action that allows you to select a bunch of tracks, and then you hit a keystroke, and it's going to create a group out of the tracks you select.
Cool. Locusana has one too. I use that one. Does the same thing.
Yeah, it's not the same. Uh, the story is that I wanted to have an action to set up the auto mixer, because setting up an auto mixer has a weird audio routing thing. You have to use multi-channel to have like a side chain, but if you have 5 microphones, you're going to have 5 side chains. In any case, I wanted to have a Reaper script that would just create the auto mixer setup, and I looked at that Lucas in action, and it was wrong. I forget what was wrong about it, and I think I fixed part of it. I sent a patch, and the rear script people accepted the patch, so that is fixed. But I remember there is still something wrong about it, and that's why I created my own. And also I have one to ungroup, and that's not something that
Oh,
existed
cool.
before. So
Cool. Yeah, ungrouping is nice.
yeah. And Bobs asks if I am using the shotgun. Yes, I am. I'm still using it. Yes. And we are gonna give the XY a try as well. So for me it's like night and day, and I think I want to go with this, but I don't want to do it here on the stream because it will be probably boring. But I want to give some of the other options a try as well for fun. So
Sure.
do you want to do like the XY microphone and open chords?
Yeah, XY open chords slightly further. I'd say that would be an interesting thing to try.
Okay. And while I do the setup, we have to wait for the baby. So I guess I want to mute the double stuff, and I'll have the metronome here on top, and I'll call this the metronome or click track. So my double stuff, and I will want to hear the single take, so I am going to
That's
mute
right.
the single take, and this is going to be my open chords. Bob says, I like the sound of shotgun on the hollow body. Yeah. And
yeah,
and someone also said something about the guitar. Love the Martin. Yeah, I do love this guitar. It sounds so good. I am not a good enough guitar player for the guitar. And Bob's wife hears the same profanities about DOS. Yeah. I mean, I guess there are only 2 kinds of tools. The ones you don't like and the ones you don't use. And my audio is lower because my microphone is pointing at the guitar. So maybe I can compensate for that by giving me a bit more gain. But then when I play the guitar, I have to remember to undo this. Yeah. Yeah, that should be more or less comfortable. But then when I play the guitar, it's not horrible either. Anyway, I'm going to switch microphones now, and this means I will not be heard for a moment. And I am back. And you said that you wanted this a bit higher?
Yeah.
And pointing down, right?
Yeah, pointing down. And so this time we have a new issue as well, which is an interesting issue. Because so far we've used one mic and we pointed that at your 12th fret. Now, if we point your XY mic at your 12th fret, we're going to get a very different sound out of it, because one of them would be pointing at the body and one of them is pointing at the neck. And we're going to get a sound that is like quite imbalanced. So what we're going to do this time is we're going to take some distance and we're going to go above, but we're going to kind of point it towards the body. Again, not at the sound hole itself, but we're going to just slightly point it to kind of the bridge of your guitar. And we'll like move it slightly, maybe closer, even past the bridge would be better, maybe a little closer to the sound hole would be better. So we'll just kind of move it around and try and see what we hear.
Okay, so I have the microphone here. It is at a slight angle pointing down. And now I should be very quiet, actually. I will up the gain here on this little guy for now. And then you're saying that I should have my guitar about here, so it is about here. The microphone
Let's
is.
try around there, yeah, and then we can move it around and see like what works better.
Oh, instead of moving myself, I want to keep myself on the camera, so I'll move the microphone.
Mm-hmm.
That makes more sense. There you go.
And point it down, point it more kind of facing the thing.
Okay, to do that, I will need to get a ball head for the mic stand.
Ah, okay,
So
cool.
I will not be able to hear you, but please talk to the chat.
Sure, I'll talk to the chat. Hey chat, what's up? Thanks, Bo. Yeah, work, man. Work is hail. 10th fret. Yeah, so Bobs, normally I would go for like 10th fret, 12th fret when it's one mic. When it's two mics, we also don't want to get a stereo sound. Like we don't want to get a stereo recording that's super different. So we should actually try 12th fret just to see how that sounds. But usually what happens is one of your mics will get a lot more low end and one of your mics will get a lot less low end. And then you can use like MS processing and stuff to kind of bring the low a little bit, kind of focus the center of the low end, or just cut out the low end entirely, which are totally valid approaches. But also like what we're trying to do is like the recording we did of the 10th fret is missing some things, is good at another bunch of things, like it's missing some low end and like warmth. So now we want to do a kind of contrasting recording approach so that we compensate for those things that are missing out of that first recording is kind of my thought process for this. But yeah, like we'll try a bunch of things and we'll see which one kind of like works better. Yeah, like string noise, like is one of those things that we have a good amount of already in that single take recording. When we were listening to it, maybe you were not here yet, so you'll hear it again, and yeah.
All right, so I am back and I'm loud as hell. Sorry. And so I put the ball head and now I have complete control over the angle.
Cool.
And it's about here on the guitar, so it's around the bridge of the guitar. And I caught most of your explanation of why we want to do this. So it's more of a complementary to what we already have in terms of sound from the first take. And
Yeah.
let's see what the gain is on this. So this time we want to have, in terms of inputs, what is going
Stereo
on?
this time, right?
Yes, but for whatever reason, Reaper doesn't seem to pick up the Zoom H5 anymore.
Click on the thing again. Click on your record arm button
Oh,
again.
there you go. Here it is. So we are gonna go stereo with the inputs 1 and 2. So I'm going to tap into your ears, and I can see the meters moving. All right, so we got this. Are we good to go? Anything I'm missing? Oh, the levels. So I'll play some open chords and we can see if the levels are good. We are hitting about -18.
Good. More than levels, what do you hear? Do you like the sound you're hearing? Like, do you want to try kind of moving a little bit and seeing like if anything better happens in a different angle?
Well, because I am playing, I hear myself. I hear the guitar, and then I hear
Mm-hmm.
the the microphone. So it's hard to tell which is which. So I can record a bit, and then we can hear that. But
Sure. Yeah, let's do that.
okay. So I will go here and turn this off, and I think this should be good to give us an idea,
Cool.
though I made a mistake because my tab is not what I played. I,
Oh,
yeah, I didn't play this F. That's what I played, right? And I
mm.
think that's why I messed it up before. Also because it's very hard for me to do the thing that we are doing.
It's very fast.
Yeah, but I think we agreed that this was a good tempo for the song. And I
Yeah,
saw in the
yeah,
chat that maybe Bob's mentioned that we could slow down the performance. Now that I have tempo mapped it, I have complete control over time stretching, so we could slow it down, play it slower, and then speed it up. And
yeah.
I think that's okay. I mean, we can try it, but I am not inclined to do it. I mean, either I get it right and maybe stretch and stitch together different parts of the performance and stretch to fix some minor mistakes, or we'll do the open chords which I think will be easier. But
Mm.
I'm all in favor of changing the tempo in recording, but I don't think we should do it for this one. I don't know. How do you feel?
Not yet. Yeah, if we really, have our backs against the wall,
Okay.
then.
Okay, so now that I have fixed the tab, I actually want to go over this again real quick because I think I can do better.
Okay.
And we'll have some baby in there.
Oh, that's all right.
Uh, but let's see. So I think that this was reasonable. I mean, I see the transients are roughly on time.
Good definition, yeah.
So let's mute our metronome and hear what this sounds like. I think it needs to be a bit louder or we won't be able to hear anything actually.
Let's even solo it because we're still kind of working on mic placement anyway. So I just want to kind of hear what we have.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so what do you hear? What do you think? Think of like what do you hear in the low end? What do you hear in the mids? What do you hear in the high end?
I don't hear a lot of low end, though
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting to hear more low end because we were pointing the microphone at the body of the guitar, so I was expecting more low end, but at the same time we were further away. Well, being further away should actually enhance the low end, right? Because the high end travels. Uh, it doesn't
Yeah, it
travel as
wouldn't
far.
exactly enhance the low end. It would not enhance the high end, and therefore will make a more low end rich thing. If that
Yes.
makes sense.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
but on the other hand, uh, is the proximity effect something that would have happened when I was playing with this microphone closer to the sound source?
Is your shotgun not omnidirectional? Oh no, it's not. It's supercardioid. Yes, then proximity effect would be a thing.
Isn't
So
isn't
let's try that
the
too.
the pickup pattern of a supercardioid, isn't that the very definition of a shotgun mic?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Ah, okay.
So, okay, so then let's try all of these things. Let's try putting the mic closer and seeing what that does. And let's also try putting it further and seeing what that does. And keep all of these open chords, and we can also like compare them after we record them. So instead of record like kind of hearing one by one, we can just do a comparison.
Okay, so these are the open chords, uh, close mic.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'll do a closer or medium, I guess.
Yeah.
So this is medium, close. I am naming all my tracks. Does it make you happy?
Yeah, it makes me very happy.
And I'm even
Later, if
grouping
you
them.
color them, then I'll even be even more happy.
Ah, okay. I'm
But
not gonna
coloring
color
is
them.
fully optional. Yeah.
I'm not coloring them, but I am naming them and I'm grouping them.
Yeah, no, that makes me that's what matters. The rest is cosmetic.
Okay, so let's do close mic, and I still have the right inputs because I duplicated the track. Go me.
Cool, cool.
And then I need to unmute this so I am able to hear the click and play, and everything seems okay. In terms of placement, so we are talking about closer, how close, like as close as I was playing the shotgun, like 10 centimeters.
So there's another issue there is that when you put the mic close to the body of the guitar, then as your wrist is moving, you may also hit it. So what we can also do is try to put it a little to the side. So if this is the body of your guitar, okay, we're putting it, yeah. So where your right hand currently is, close to that side. Or wait, you're left-handed. Was
No, no,
that
no,
your?
no, no,
Yeah,
no. I think that Skype is flipping the image for you.
yeah. Give me the middle finger with your left hand.
This is my left hand.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, where your right hand was, kind of on the side of the body, where your strap goes. Um, put the mic kind of close to that area, and yeah, like I mean, yeah. Let's try 10 centimeters, and we'll see what we get. And even while sound checking, we can kind of try to hear the low end and see what we're working with.
Yeah, so that is a crazy placement. I would never think about doing something like this. That's fun.
It will be very low endy and very not high endy. Because it's almost like a
Yes.
wood resonance that we're like capturing at that point.
Yeah, so I think that this is it in terms of placement.
Okay, let's hear it.
And I want to have my meters.
I'm not a big
Yeah.
fan, I gotta say. It's a little dull sounding. What do you think?
Well, I want to record this real quick so I have
Sure.
something that I can hear
Oh,
isolated
properly.
from everything
That's
else.
right.
Yeah. Uh,
Good take. You're good with clicks. Better than me.
you are too kind. Okay, so let's hear. Yeah, I guess I hear more low end, yeah.
Yeah, you want to
But actually,
compare
let's
with,
compare the two.
yeah,
To compare, the only way I know how to do this is to, well, mute everything I don't want to hear, and then mute the thing that you want to A/B and do it like this. Is there a
Yeah.
more smart way? Okay.
I
Uh,
like this way. I use this way.
okay.
There is a way with hotkeys to A/B it, and I always forget the hotkeys. But I'll send you the video by Mike from Let's Talk About Reaper that talks about that approach. But I just always forget how to do it.
Okay. Uh, let's make this so you can hear me better. And let's see. So I do hear a difference. Yes.
Huge.
Um,
Yeah. What do you hear? Tell me.
well, you already said what I should hear, so I guess I am hearing it. But I do hear like this. This close mic is. It sounds more bassy, and I also think it has less definition in terms of all the strings as I am hitting them, because I'm not just letting them ring. I'm not just playing. I am more like what do you call this? This
Broken chord, they call, or a
the
rolling
broken
chord.
chord.
A bring.
Okay. So I am playing these broken chords, and am I getting notifications on my phone? It seems like I am. So I am playing this, and I think that I can hear the each string better defined in the medium mic.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, and which one do you like more? Do you like the medium
Well,
more?
if I was to just have one, if I was to just have this as a take, if this was the whole thing, I would probably go with the medium because I like the way it sounds better. But we also have to consider what it does in relation to the rest of the thing.
Okay, yeah. Let's try that. Let's also A/B it with the things not muted.
So for that, I need to. How do I do that? Because if I solo this to hear it, I will have lost this one. Do I solo defeat this guy?
Here's what you can do. You can use undo and redo to A/B. So you have the or okay, right click on track 2 single take on the solo button of the track 2 single take and solo defeat.
Okay, that's what I thought. So now when I solo, I still hear that.
Yeah.
Um, okay, let's hear this. Uh, when I hear the whole thing, I think I prefer the close mic. I think it brings more to the table. A lot of what the medium mic was doing, the single take was already doing in terms of frequency. So I like that. How do you
Yeah.
feel about it?
Yeah, I agree. The only caveat is, and this is one of the hard parts of kind of planning a recording when you're the only musician. It's like, well, if we later get bass, then what's that going to bring to the table? And is the close mic just going to get in the way of the bass? You know what I mean? Like all these kind of interrelationships start to become an issue. But I agree with you fully. Like I like if I had to just choose right now, I would choose the close mic. We can also work with some other close mic variations, like just kind of moving the placement a little bit because I think, yeah, maybe we were a little bit too far with the medium. And so as a result of that, even further away maybe is not something we can even, we may even want to try, but we can try other close mic because you were saying like you're not hearing all your strings properly, so maybe we stay close but we just move it a little bit to another place um, and see what that does.
I don't know. Let me see. I mean, I don't hear the strings as defined as in the medium take, but then again, it sounds okay with the single take, so I think I like this positioning actually. I think we can
Cool.
go with this.
Cool. Let's do it.
So I will unsolo the feed so I don't forget about it, and I am going to do a take with the closed mic
Sure.
technique, and I'm going to do a full thing.
Sure.
Do I even need to see? Do you usually have the Reaper tab, the Reaper window open as you play, or because I can just have my lyrics on? What do you usually do? What do
Yeah.
people usually do?
Yeah, whatever makes you comfortable. There's really no reason to see, even if you like see your meters and you're clipping, you can't do anything about it while you're playing. So yeah, no real reason to. As long as you
Yeah,
can press record and like, do you gotta press record and then switch? You know what I mean?
yeah. That's okay. So
Yeah.
I will have my close mic, and I got it further away, but I'll get it close again. About there, and I increase the gain so you all would be able to hear me better, but I'm going to decrease it again. So we have, yeah, we are about at -18, which is okay.
Cool.
And then all I gotta do is start. But I actually have to play too, so there's that. There is this weird thing in Reaper. Very weird. If you have your cursor over here, it's going to show not soloed, right? But if you
Uh-huh.
go to another window and you put your cursor there, sometimes it shows the tooltip as even though the Reaper window is not on top.
Ah,
Do you
never
have that
noticed
happen to
this.
you?
Never noticed it. But
It doesn't happen every time, but it happened now. So when you switch to a different window, the tooltip should go away, right?
uh-huh, yeah, I
It
see what you
didn't.
mean.
Yeah. All right. So before I do that, Bob says, "Sorry for the interjection. I just have brain fart." No. That's exactly why we are doing this on the stream. Please interject.
Straight
All
up,
right.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I messed up some parts, but because this is so spacious, I think that we can splice things together more easily. On this
Yeah,
first
absolutely.
performance, I would have the hardest time stitching things together because I wouldn't be able to play in a closed tempo enough to stitch things and make it make sense. But on this one, I think we can stitch together just fine. I mean, we can roughly cut around here, minus the transient, and I think we'll be fine. So let's see the
Mm-hmm.
parts that make sense and punch in the rest. How about that?
Sure, sounds good.
If anything makes sense, we'll see.
I
And
like
I
the
put the
sound
meat.
though. I think the sound is pretty decent now. We got a good like level of contrast, and they're pretty nice and complementary, if you ask me.
And I was about to move the microphone so you would be able to hear me better, but I think that if I do that, then when punch in, it will be harder to make things match, right?
Yeah, that's a huge issue, right? With acoustic guitar and stuff like, yeah, my mic can't move. I hear you fine, honestly. Like when you speak, I don't know people in the chat if they are hearing it a lot worse.
Well, hang in there because I am going to change my input to this guy. So now you can hear me loud and
Cool.
clear, even if I leave the microphone where it is.
Cool.
I shouldn't clap on your ears. I won't do it. I won't do that anymore. Okay, so you liked the sound of this, and I will give it a try. Let's see if I like the sound of this. And also, now we have tempo mapped one performance, so we can see the grid, but now I would like to stretch the other performance if the timing is sloppy, right?
Yeah, you could, yeah.
So I guess I would like, if I think that this is maybe too late or whatever, too early, what I would do is I would put a stretch marker here and move it around, right?
Yes, however, I have an alternative idea. Because the notes are open and polyphonic, when you're polyphonic, time stretching will always lead to like some degradation. With monophonic, it does, but it's less audible, blah, blah, blah. So what we can do also is we can chop the audio, and then you know that mouse modifier that moves item contents? So we chop the audio on the tail end of the chords, and then we can move the next bit of audio kind of to grid. So that way we're not actually doing any time stretching. We are just doing like editing without changing the rate.
That's
If
a
that was
good
clear.
one.
Yeah.
Okay, so did I make any major mistakes on the performance? I think I did, but we'll see. Oh, I don't need the click for this. Or do I? Do you want to hear the timing as well and the click would help?
Up to you. We'll eventually not need a click, so we don't need to use the click. You know what I mean?
Okay. How do you feel about this on this part? Because this part is more rhythmic, and then these open chords don't work as well, I don't think.
Agreed. I was thinking that when you were playing.
Also, it can kind of get boring, just these open chords. You know what is coming, right?
Yeah. We can try to double that part more, kind of like you played it.
And for sure, we don't want the chord to ring on the part that was supposed to be silent.
That's the part where we can do some tapey action. Wow. Kind of
This is something I want to say about the tempo mapping I did earlier. When I looked at this part, just by looking at the waveform, I thought, yeah, for sure this is going to be the one of the measure. But no, I think that this was the one of the measure, which is weird. The two of the measure was louder.
Because you are playing doom, so the emphasis is on the what you're playing is like snary rather than kicky, you know. On the bass, then we have the one who would be like boom boom digga digga boom boom. But yeah, what you're playing is a ring ring
Yeah, I never thought about it like that, but I guess you're right. I just know what I know is I hear the songs I like and I try to copy, and eventually I morph things into my own songs, so I never even think about. I don't reason about it in those terms, but I guess you're right. I am playing
Yeah.
along on the 2 and 4 of the bar.
Yeah.
Let's continue with the rest. Yeah, I didn't know what to do here on the devil, so I just played the same thing.
Yeah.
I think that this is not excellent, but it came along a lot better than I was expecting, having been the first time I actually tried to play along with myself on the guitar.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that this is good, but I'm saying that I see some promise here. I think I will be able to actually pull this off.
Absolutely. Yeah,
And
like
then
this
at this,
cadence was great. Ring, ring,
yeah.
ring.
Yeah, so at this point, I would see people on streams, and they would be like, oh, okay, I don't like this, I don't like that, and blah, blah, blah. There's only one thing that I know that I need to fix, and there's only one that I dislike. I think the timing, it's probably this little guy. I think it's too late. Yeah, this guy's late.
Yeah.
But other than that, I know that it's not excellent, and I don't know what I need to do to fix it.
Well, let's
But
fix
let's start
this
with-
one, and then we'll
Yeah.
see. Yeah.
So the way I would do this is, I guess I am holding command so I can click on anywhere instead of just being on the grid. And then I can click on this guy. Oh, I cannot do both. Oh, yes, I can. And then I can split it and do the same
And split
here.
from the front. Yep.
Oh, it's annoying. I cannot get my cursor here. Why not?
Why don't you just turn off snap for a sec? Or
Oh
there
yeah,
you
I
go,
could
you
do
did
that,
it.
but I eventually got it there. So I can split it there as well, and then I can zoom in a little bit and nudge it.
Yeah.
Leandro from the past is getting a little help from Leandro from the future. Let's see. That sounds better.
Cool.
Hang on, let me hear something. This whole time the microphone on my computer was ringing, so while I was playing there was some spill from the computer into the microphone because I did not come here and muted this. I had done this before, but then I had to reset and I had to reboot the whole computer. Yikes.
Yikes.
Whatever. Yeah, the timing is better now, I think.
Cool.
But what else do we need to fix?
I guess the sound check bit, we're just gonna take that out, or maybe just punch in like cause there also you have like this reggae rhythm structure going, doom chicka doom chicka doom chicka. So you can maybe with the other one just do the same thing, or do something like a bop 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 bop. You know.
We could do reggae.
Yeah. Chicka chicka doom chicka chicka chicka.
So we could do just... Well, that's more or less what I'm doing on the first guitar. But I could do it on a different fret.
Yeah.
That could kind of work. Do you all hear that on the stream? I guess I can
Well,
do
we
something
hear it
else.
from the SM. So I guess now you can actually arm or record, like monitoring input, enable your stereo track.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now you hear everything. And Bob's is saying, no, 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 no. Probably for the... where do I go? Like here?
I do like that. I fucks with
It could
that.
work. This is what I'm doing.
Nice.
No. Nah. I don't know. Okay, to be able to punch in, I guess the first thing is we have to identify where we want to punch in and remove the stuff we
Right.
want to leave out.
You're right.
No reggae, the police did it already. I'll turn off the grid, and this will allow me to click anywhere I want. That will be helpful. So I want to take this out up to... I guess I can let the F stay.
Right, yeah.
Let's give this a try, see what comes out. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to give myself a one chord before I start, 2 chords before I start, and then I'm going to cycle, double this track, and stop this one, and hit record, I guess.
Yeah. And one thing, maybe you are already doing this, sorry, but like, so you have 2 chords at the beginning and 1 chord at the end that are within your time selection, and still play those chords. Maybe you were already going to do that.
No, I was not. But yeah, that's a good one to get me into the groove, I guess.
Exactly, yeah, make it more natural.
So how do I even get into this chord? It's going to be... I guess it's going to be an A minor and a G. Okay. Let's do this. I'm not gonna do the first time. My microphone is wobbly.
Oh no.
Yeah. That's better. That's tight. Now it's better. And in terms of microphone placement, trying to match the previous take, that ship has sailed.
Okay, we'll figure it out. It's another section, so we can always pretend like that was a choice.
Okay. I have a different chord in there. I forgot about it. I have a G minor in there. I cannot play an A minor on top of a G minor. I'm not Jacob Collier. Fuck this. Let's try this again. Something in there is worth keeping, I think. What do I want to do there? Yeah, I guess I'll just start over.
Sorry, I left suddenly, but I'm back.
You are back. Yes, I did a take.
Cool.
So, how do you usually do this? Do you like leave the multiple tracks, or do you splice things and put them back into the original one?
I guess in this case also depends on whether you want to process them differently, but yeah, just put it on the same track for now. We can always use item effects or whatever if we are to change anything about it.
Okay. Let me see. I guess it goes like this. I don't know. Let's hear what we have so far.
Sure.
I don't love it, but it's okay. What do you think?
You know, one thing is like now that we're using a different chord voicing, it's like, should we use a different mic placement? But let's not complicate things too much. Yeah, I like that the G minor before, like I feel like the third in the G minor in the original recording is not super prominent, and now that it is prominent, it gives it a nice, it gives it a nice Jacob Collier-ness. That I really like with this new voicing. Like the third is more prominent, so it's like, whoa, what happened? Performance-wise, I like it. Yeah, I like it lots.
Okay. So you're keeping it. What else do we need to change? We can come up with something better for this part. I just doubled.
Yeah. What can we do for that? Again, another voicing?
Yeah, but we could also try to come up with a crazy chord that would fit everything I'm doing. So I am doing things in C major and minor at the same time. I mean, what I'm playing
G
is
major?
a C. Yeah, I'm playing C, E flat, B flat, G. So we could come up with a crazy chord that we let ring, but has notes from all these things happening at the same time. So I just don't know what notes to play. But
Can you play a G major 7? A G dominant 7, and then with your pinky play the minor third on your high E string. Does that make sense?
You mean the minor third of the G?
Chord. Yeah. It's a very pimp chord. I like the chord. I don't know if it will work on in that guise, but I really like it. Oh my god. The way that
I play, I sometimes play something like that, but I forget how I play it. I guess I play it like this. But it's the same story. It's major minor. With a very spicy minor second in there. Yeah. I have never tried this voicing, but I do like the thumb like Hendrix did. That is something that I use a lot. Okay, so do I like play the fifth as well? Let's see if this is even gonna work.
Yeah, exactly. You got it here.
And I don't need another track to record this, I don't think, right? I can just record another take on the same track.
Right.
So Bob's is suggesting a lot, something that is a lot more colorful. A bit diminish is relative. I don't have any keys on my hand. Minor ninths are weird. Yes, I love when they go like this. Oh, this is just so nice. Like Foo Fighters has this. What is it? My Hero starts like that? Something like that. Let's not get distracted. Okay, so let's try the G with the major and minor third.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, it sounds like crap.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
Try the Bob suggestion. That could be cool.
Also, the microphone was... I was playing it like this, and the microphone is over there, so there is that. What is going on? Okay, now the microphone will stay in place. Major second intervals. Okay, what else can we play? Something... No, not really. Not a major seventh. No. We can try the Hendrix chord on C, because it will have the major and the minor third. So let's see what that sounds like. And I don't seem to hear this while I'm recording. So I think that what I need is maybe this. I don't even know. How do I hear the other take as I am punching in?
That's why I make another take. Cause
you mean another track?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Cause I don't know if even if you put it on auto, it will be the same result.
Okay. So, yeah, let's try this stuff.
Ooh.
Too spicy.
I don't hate it. It's better than the G, but it's not like, whoa, perfect.
Yeah.
You could also play like a lick of sorts. So instead of playing like a chord, like playing like kind of like doo 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 some more leady or something.
Let's not. Okay. This part is already very busy because I am changing chords faster than I ever did in the song. It's already busy, and I am modulating too, so the whole thing is like C major, C major, C major, C major, well, C minor I guess, but then C major, and then I throw you off. You may be expecting something like... But that's not what I do. I throw a curveball already, so I do. So let's not put a Hendrix chord on top of that, I don't think.
Sure.
But then in terms of what we do when doubling, how about we just don't do anything?
Yeah.
I mean, or I just double.
Like, put some other... like maybe have a double as an option, and then... We can also use like another instrument to kind of give excitement to that same bit.
Forgot to arm the track, but other than that, I think it was okay. And here we are.
Shift amps.
It's okay. It's not perfect. Cool. May not be perfect, but it's okay. How about we go over the rest and see if something else stands out, and then we'll call it a day.
Sure, sounds good.
too repetitive. I think it's okay for the intro, but then when it goes into the verse, I think it becomes like, oh, I know what's coming. That full chord again. Oh, that full chord again. You know what I mean? Can we just like maybe not have it? What do you think?
Sure. Sure.
And as my homework, I can try to double this for reals, playing the thing that
Give
I
it a
played
go.
before. But I do
Yeah.
like the intro like this, I guess. Let's see. I'll play this until I get bored of it, and then I'll cut the rest.
Okay.
I think that's it.
Cool. And actually, it'll be nice because I do like when like a verse comes in or something, like something about the like production of the song changing. So maybe from that point we can suddenly switch to double. I also do want to hear it, the stereo recording plus the double, and see how that sounds. That may sound really good. Like we don't need to choose
And
one or the other. We can have all of them.
yes, I think that I'm going to double the whole thing, and I'm going to double it using the other mic, right? The way
Uh-huh.
I guess I will use exactly the same technique, exactly the same positioning and everything.
Yeah.
Is that what you have in mind?
Yeah, I think so. Like a slight variation would be nice to try if you have the time, but yeah, more or less the same ish. Because we're gonna kind of use them to balance each other out, so we don't want to be like insanely different. But do try kind of like slight variation.
Okay. And in terms of homework and roadmap, I think that the homework will be to double. So I guess I can get rid of this medium mic. Didn't sound too good.
Yeah, nothing
Along
special.
with the whole thing. So instead of calling this closed mic, we'll call this open chords. And we probably want to get rid of most of this too. Like most of this.
The end.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is gonna work. The open chords are probably gonna work for the intro, and I think I like what we did over here on this section. No, not this section, this section. I think this is gonna stay, but I don't think we need this. Oh, this actually sounds great.
I do like it on those two chords, yeah.
Yes, so we're keeping those. You know what? I like it here too. Maybe we don't bring it the first time. Maybe we go around the block once without it, and then we bring it in for the, I guess, the second time I sing it. I sing it 2 times. So for the second time, I bring it in. So we cut this one, but we leave the other one. And we leave this one as well. And I will do the thing you mentioned on my other song that I showed, that I should cut the silences. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to cut these silences. And maybe even here, right? It doesn't take too long to do, and it sounds okay. Would you go into each one of these chords and do that?
No. Then it will sound like unnatural and ungodly.
Yeah, and maybe put a fade here.
Right.
And maybe this one only comes in on the last, because we have that idea of looping this, and then on the last time we play something different. So maybe this one only comes in on the looped version. Yeah, so okay, the homework is I'm going to have a new track here, and that is going to be a double. And this is now not a single take. This is like guitar, bass guitar, bass, not bass,
but bass, yeah.
And how about we even group this?
Sure.
So we'll have 2 of these performances.
Yeah.
And then open chords. And would you double the open chords to make them more spacious? We recorded them stereo, but
Yeah, we recorded them stereo. Yeah, I wouldn't. Let's use another technique, because then we'll be doubling everything. So we'll use another technique if we need to make them wider, or we'll just put a like nice delay on them or something. Just to get like variety, and also to compare, like, do we like doubling more, or do we like a simple delay? Stuff like that.
okay. So the homework is only this.
Do the doubling. Um, I will give you one more thing to try if you want to try a bunch of stuff. This is something that who did I pick this up from? An old band. I don't remember who the old band was. Possibly somebody like REM. They were saying that they do one pass of their acoustic guitar songs playing just muted notes, and that gives them a lot of like attack. I don't think it was REM. It was some band that did acoustic guitar arrangements. So they would do a take kind of behind all the melodic takes that is just muted notes, nice and attacky, like, and then that's like something they would add. So if you want to try that, if you feel like your song needs more like girth, do that.
So you mean playing it with a palm mute like this? So it sounds more like, instead of sounding like, it sounds like
no chords at all, completely muted, and you're just doing. Yeah.
Then it becomes like percussion.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we can try that. So I'll have another track for
if
that.
you felt like it needed. Yeah.
String percussion.
Essentially, yeah.
Homework. And homework. Doubling.
Yeah.
I'll give this a best effort. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have to work with our constraints. And one of my major constraints is that I'm not the best musician around. We'll just have to make do.
Yeah, otherwise we'll pivot and we'll just do another thing. There's so many tricks. We'll get something that we like.
Yes. All right. Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
All right.
Yeah.
So thank you everyone for coming. Thanks Bobs and Bo and Brown House Media LLC and everyone else who was here but wasn't talking on the chat. We love you all. And go to Arya's channel, learn a lot more about Reaper and I guess composition as well.
Yeah.
And
one day I'll try to do some composition stuff too.
Yeah, but I mean, the stream you did last week, that was all about composition.
Ah, true.
Yeah. And thank you all for subscribing to our channels, for supporting us on Patreon, that kind of thing. And I see you all tomorrow over here on my channel for more of the Slack stuff. I am trying to fix something on Slack about notifications that I dislike. I'm building a robot using JavaScript. Yeah, it will be more of old men yelling at clouds. Because I usually try to keep it positive on my channel, but I really dislike that tool. And there will be some cursing. Anyway, thank you very much, Arya. I always have a lot of fun doing this. And I see you, I guess, on Tuesday on your channel when we'll talk about the EQ that you are writing. And I sometimes jump in and say some things about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool.
Have a good one, everyone.